Hello, Internet. We hope this works.
All right, that's how it's going. Hello, welcome everyone. This is the first episode of the Foxcast, the podcast with me and the Virgins, aka Silver.
What's up?
All right,
We hope
first on
this
the
works.
agenda, we're gonna watch the trailer together. Hopefully, the Discord activity thing doesn't lag.
All right, wait. Join activity.
There
Okay,
we go.
thank you. And I appear to be here. And
GDAI
what the hell are you saying? Hardware acceleration will make this better.
maximize for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. All right.
Uh, Let me just maximize it even further.
Also, your PNG tube virtual cam is off.
Oh, oh, great. Let me see why. Turn on camera. There we go.
There we go. All right,
Thank you, Discord.
let's get into this video.
Yeah.
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
All right, that was trailer one. From what it sounds like,
Yep.
there's going
1
to be
minute
more
and
than
30.
one. There's going to be more than one trailer to be released.
Well, usually there's like three trailers that build up the
Okay.
hype, and the third one is like the most cinematic when it comes to game releases.
Yeah.
Always has been that one way, hasn't it?
Yep.
With like game
Indeed.
releases.
All right.
Yeah.
You can leave that
First one's usually just a
little
short tease,
thing.
and then they usually use like the second one as a story one, and the third one is the one that they usually cut up for like the TV spots or something.
Exactly. All right.
But,
You leave that activity now. We don't need it no more.
yep. How do I do that?
Little bottom right. Look close.
Bottom right.
Right next
Exit
to
full
disconnect
screen.
call.
Yeah. Thank
There
you.
we go. All right.
Yeah, I'm very unfamiliar with this on Discord. I'm not a big
That's all right.
user of it.
I
I
can
just
tell.
use it for chatting.
So that was that. Not much to give out on information. Not bad though. Quality looks very good.
As you'd expect. I'm really more well, I'm looking forward to it because it's like how Vice no just how GTA 5 was like a good sort of facsimile of Los Angeles. This looks like a better facsimile of Miami, except now
Exactly.
it's a larger part of the Florida region. Like one of the big shots was that two bridges thing, which is pretty famous, and the other one's pretty famous for being that spot where they shot what was that called? That Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? True Lies. That was taking place in Miami, and that looks interesting
Um,
too.
Not 100%
So yeah,
sure.
we're gonna get a bit of the Everglades, hopefully.
Yep. It's that as well. Uh,
Yeah, the
let's
car
see.
culture is also
Story.
very prominent there.
Yeah. It seems like with all the rumors of everyone being able to play two separate characters, one male and one female for the campaign, that's what's going to be happening with the game, most
Yeah,
likely.
particular focus on the female protagonist. So I don't know if
Yeah,
that's course correction
a
or whatever.
more based female character as the primary for it would be great. It'll change how the story of GTA has been from the past many years it's been out.
I'm guessing it's just to get rid of that perception of the whole like killing prostitutes type thing and getting your money back because that was like one of the
Yeah,
biggest ooh, ever since like it came out back in like 2001.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Although they're clearly not afraid to keep doing it, given with all the booty shaking that was in almost every single frame for about 40 seconds.
That is
Mm.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just like it wasn't even like a unique variable set of booty. It was all fat booty. So they're either being very satirical or just saying, yeah, yeah, we're not doing it or something like that. They're either being very clever or very stupid or both.
Probably both, knowing
I don't
them.
really exactly. I mean, they do that, but yeah,
Right. Considering one of our
it's
topics
just
is
so on the nose.
going to be comparing GTA 5 with GTA 6, we should also compare from 4 to 5 as well.
Yeah, the
Bi-
biggest thing for 4 and 5 is like the story and Free Leaf Clover there because like I'm pretty sure
And
everyone agrees 4 has a better story, but
car customization. They did say they were going to bring it out when 4 was released. Everyone was disappointed.
yeah, there was a lot of things that were in the trailers for 4 that were not that were cut out. Even as far as like some stylistic changes, like Nico having gloves and being
Exactly.
able to parachute stuff.
Yeah. Another thing as well with car customization, put it to the next level. Tuning your car. What do you reckon?
That
Be
does
able to
look
tune
better.
your wheels so then you get a drift type car. Something like that.
I mean, they're already doing that in GTA 5, but the fact that they're obsessing with the car culture is a bit of a worry. But I'll save that concern for later.
Yeah.
If the PS5 on GTA 5 re-releases any demonstration. But yeah,
Probably not that much, considering Rockstar has 2 games under their belt. They are currently under development. We've still got about,
yeah.
I'd say, a year and just under 6 months before GTA 6 is released.
Well, like they said, it's 2025, which makes sense because this is a big
Yeah.
game and they just announced it, so it
Oh
wasn't going
yeah,
to come out like
100%.
next month. I don't know why
Yeah,
some
or
people
like
believe that.
sometime during next year. Definitely not. Some
Exactly.
people speculate the latest the game will drop is about March because they're expecting to get a certain amount of money by a certain time period.
Honestly, I'm thinking that this is sort of the. I'm not sure if it's the death of GTA 5 that they're planning around because GTA 5 has definitely been around for a long time.
It
But I
has.
think it is. I think they are trying to set a date more for the end of GTA 5 rather than the beginning of GTA 6,
Yeah.
as in terms of like primary content shift
I mean,
there.
considering the
But
length of
then
time.
again, the online section of GTA 5 came out like about a month later and was only truly worthwhile after a year
Yeah.
or two. So who knows?
I mean, from a big game like that, GTA 5 was so big. I mean, that's how we became friends.
Yeah, it was. And
Just a random
we
lobby.
really only got to it like in 20. Well, I got it in 2014, 1 year after it came out.
Yeah, that was about me
And
as well.
yeah, so it's a like GTA has some potential before the online comes about. The online really should be treated as something separate
It
to
usually
the
is.
whole
The
thing.
online community was so different. You always mostly got the people that didn't try to play it for what it was, and all they
Yeah,
thought it was is just pure anarchy.
yeah.
And
I mean, they've definitely added more nuance to it. Like I've gone in public lobbies, and there's very little of that pure anarchy anymore. I mean, it's still there, but it's like only like a few select players. Everyone else is pretty much just in groups,
yeah,
and they're doing their own thing.
mostly all faded, all that bunch of people that just jump on, kill each other. That's it. Now you got small
Yeah, it was
groups of
just a
friends
giant death match.
doing stuff.
That suited the online for Red Dead Redemption, which was the previous one, which I thought, man, this is really good as terms of online, and it was the Wild West, so being in a giant death match was just par for the course.
Yeah.
But when you were, but one of the things I hope they bring back for GTA 6 that was in Red Dead Redemption is friendly lobbies,
Oh yeah.
because they were, yeah, because in case anyone doesn't remember that, friendly lobbies were essentially you cannot target players, you cannot kill players, you just basically a lot
It's
harder to grief them.
PvE, like hardcore
Yeah,
PvE. You literally could not
yeah.
damage anyone.
You could still grief them though. Like the
Oh,
most common thing to do was just kill their horses
well,
whenever
yeah.
they would support it, but that was about it. Because there was fast travel in that game
It's like
because it
the
was such an
similar
empty
thing
game.
for when people were going around in GTA 5 and they killed players and the passive mode that made it so people can't
Yeah,
kill certain players. So what other
unfortunately,
people would do
passive mode
is
was kind of a failure.
they would grab a car, drive at full speed at them, jump out before they're close to it, and their car would impact them and kill them.
Or they would use later on, as we found out, the fire hose from the fire truck, which
Yes.
that was just like instant ragdoll trolling because that's technically not supposed to, and then they had to fix that as well. I think passive mode, however, is the worst option to try and get everyone into a single lobby. I know why they did it. It's to just force these single lobbies rather than like full lobbies where everyone was separated by what playstyle they wanted. But I never saw friendly lobbies or uh free for all lobbies being underpopulated. Like free for all lobbies were they definitely had more people because that was like seen as the default. But the friendly lobbies they had a lot of people and like I made friends there. It was like I never felt alone in that thing. You generally just found players who didn't want to grief each other there. Like you had one
Yeah.
for the social,
Because
the
after a
willing to be
while,
social
people
breaks,
tend to get
and
like
yeah,
so over the fact that they load in. All they want to do is just cruise around and they just die. Some dude
yeah.
is just
Passive mode
camped on
was
a
not a
building,
good solution.
in a jet, in their bunker, in very high armored vehicles, just driving around doing nothing but destroying everything.
Yeah, I mean, I remember even like back in PS3, they actually had to spawn jets that chase you if you stole a jet from the military base, just to
Yeah,
make sure that the griefing with jets would stop. I mean, that really says it all. That just how badly they did that by trying to do this combined lobby thing with passive mode. Passive mode didn't work, and it actually gets worse. You have to disable passive mode to make money in free roam, which is like
exactly.
why.
N- Not only that,
So
if you're
yeah,
in some sort of danger against AI in passive mode,
yeah.
you can't even defend yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Passive mode really should
It
go
should
away. Go back to friendly lobbies
either
and
that
free roam lobbies.
or ghost mode every other player to you. So it means that you're untargeted by other players and they're untargeted by you, which means you can pull out your gun, but you can't actually target them. You can't shoot at them. If you do, just go straight through them. No complete contact.
I mean, that's already a thing there in like the interaction menu in GTA. They already have targeting priority, and you can set it to
Yeah.
attackers and strangers or everyone,
Although
or
I'm
like
thinking as a
yeah,
different way, instead you go passive mode. Instead, change that to PvE mode. When you have that enabled and active, you're in a public lobby, but only AI can attack you and players cannot. Like if the
yeah, I
players
agree.
try to
I,
shoot you, it'll just go through you and do no damage.
yeah, I kind of agree with that. I want more nuance in the thing because what they do is they did this really half-assed thing with even the interaction menu in passive mode. I think they really should just do like before you even log in, there should be settings saying, "Hey, which on the bar do you like? Do you like PvE mode? Do you like passive? Do you
Almost
like
like a
passive playing? Do you
questionnaire.
like
What
summoning?" That
type
type
of
of thing.
gameplay do you prefer?
Yeah, sort of like that. Like, how did you interact? But it wouldn't be like a questionnaire. It'd be more like the settings menu. Because just like
Yeah,
how you can't really log into a public lobby without setting your targeting priority. Because you
exactly.
have
Yeah.
free aim and then you have auto aim, and that changes everything entirely. Like that was the same thing back in Red Dead. It because in Red Dead, even there, if you were in an auto aim, it would just be instant death. Whoever saw you was like just got you. But in free aim, it was a lot harder. And if you're on horses, it's just freaking annoying to target anyone else when the AI has, auto aim. Still is the same case in GTA, but other players are less of a threat, and you were rewarded with more experience points.
Yes, you've stated that before
Yeah,
when we played. So you
yeah.
go free aim. That
That's
way you
just
get way more
that's
XP because it's much more experience. Difficult. You gotta truly aim.
yeah. I mean, that is a good reward, but and it also proves that Rockstar is willing to separate you based on playstyle. So why is it doing it based on just your aim rather than when they did it before, based on whether you want to be more social rather than hostile. Like that makes no sense to me why they would take that away in GTA 5 and make all these half-ass countermeasures. If you want that, put it in GTA 6 so that you have people who won't do PvP in free mode, like a lobby, and then you can have other lobbies that are fully PvP and others that are just PvE.
Yeah, and another way
So
to
there
go
you go.
around it is when you go to the online tab in your pause menu in GTA 5, when you go there, you've got start private session, join public session, stuff like that, invite only, etc.
Yeah,
There should be a
yeah,
PvP and a PvE section as well to
yeah,
split the groups up.
yeah. Especially like that's another thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people just, especially solo players, which fair enough. Solo players they just end up in invite only lobbies solely. That's all they do.
Yeah, most of the
I mean, I've
time.
been doing that half the time for my playing, but I think they really should just mix it up and try and give you a more mixed lobby that suits everyone's play style. And if anyone could do it, it is Rockstar. They do put thought into it. That's how we ended up with this discussion of Red Dead Redemption and friendly lobbies. But
Yeah,
yeah,
spending
I,
time
I
to
kind of
actually
want to
do
see
stuff.
that. Like for most people, it'll just be, oh, passive mode got developed even better. But it's like, no, they just went backwards to what inspired passive mode. Passive mode was just a horrible experiment.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And if GTA 5 is like more recent update, I think I need to categorize something here. Early GTA 5, back when it was before the heists, the original heist,
Yeah,
was a totally different game to post the original heist, like the Doomsday heist and all that, where they had setups happen in the free mode lobby rather than as missions.
exactly.
Because I
That
think that's important to note. Because I think the aim for that was them trying to make people be in those free lobbies. I guess.
yeah, bring
That's what I'm
people
saying.
out into the public sessions where actual players can interact and try and sabotage anything you're trying to do, making it a bit difficult to actually get things done. I mean, I understand the standpoint to that. Don't make things super easy. So Doomsday Heist made it so it's a bit more realistic. Not only do you have the police and the military or whoever these items and everything comes from, you also got the competition that's also trying to do the Doomsday Heist, interrupting everything you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a. That's another reason why I think the PvP thing needs to be refought because almost all the setups should pit you against other players, where there are others that are just like you can do in free roam and no one will bother you.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think that's just the key to find out that balance to get everyone in a lobby and they're all doing their own thing rather than just being hostile to each other or just whatever. I mean, let the solo players do it in the lobby where there are other players rather than just on their own. I think that's their aim, and I think that's a good idea. Because in the late GTA 5, that's what they're that's what they've been doing with all these new jobs and new updates and new DLC missions. Like the setups, they all take place in the free roam, and so do a lot of the just so do a lot of ways to earn money from businesses. Actually, like they don't take place in separate missions; they just take place in free roam as deliveries or whatever else.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. I want them to lean more into that kind of design, and I think they are, but I don't know how
I genuinely
that
do
might
feel
turn
like a
out.
majority of it would be like centered towards free roaming most of it to give it more of
Mm,
a head front, like overall. Like other games, they do it where if you start up a mission, it doesn't load you somewhere, it just gives you the prompt, you activate it, you're like, all
yeah,
right, objectives right there. It's just in the world.
yeah. Yeah, because the world looks so much more populated when there are other players and they're all doing their setups. The thing is, though, I think missions like heists and all that will still take place in their own missions, but those missions might be more varied, I guess.
Yeah.
especially if they require like stealth or something like that. Because they are leaning more into stealth in the later missions, but it's GTA. They really haven't figured out how to do stealth right yet.
They should
Aside
take
from
a
just don't get detected.
they should take a page out of Activision's playbook about their Warzone. Warzone has these contracts that you start up for the missions. When you do it, you just immediately start doing that contract you want to do. Like you find it, grab it, you do it. So in GTA 6, you go up to a person of interest, you talk with them. You're not stuck in some sort of animation cutscene. You're actually talking to them while they're walking. You walk with them. You interact, do stuff, and then like quickly do this or whatever, blah blah blah, and you go and do it.
That would make it more of an MMO, which GTA
Yeah,
Online is an MMO. It's just
pretty much.
it really wasn't meant. Yeah, it really is just become one of those MMO stories that everyone else tried to copy, even if they didn't really advertise it like that.
Yeah,
The whole games as a service thing. It really fell into that just because it had the right pieces. And that's another thing about GTA 6 that I'm a little afraid of because Red Dead Redemption 2 that went full games as a service MMO mode, and that's the reason why Red Dead Redemption 2 online is pretty much nothing right now. Like it's completely irrelevant. They planned for
yeah,
it to be one of the two mainstays alongside GTA 5, but now they only have GTA 5 or GTA Online, I should say. And
exactly.
the
Yeah,
reason is they just price gouged it to oblivion, really.
not it's not often you see people on the Red Dead Online servers because like people coming for cheaters, people that hacked the game. In Red Dead Online, it was a lot more difficult with the hackers on there because they played it
Mm,
hardcore when it was released, and there was no protection whatsoever. Like some
yeah.
YouTubers I watch, they've played Red Dead Online, but they barely post. Probably once every 5 6 months, they would post a video of them playing some Red Dead, and that's pretty much just about it. It's all online.
Yeah, it died a very quick death. It was not as sustainable as GTA
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
like
May it
GTA
rest in
Five's
peace.
online experience at the beginning, which a lot of it was due to the fact that it was just leaning into all that shark card nonsense, the microtransactions,
Oh
and
yeah, they
trying to
made
make it a lot harder to
quite a
play
lot of
it
money.
legit free. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I want them to take their time to learn what they're doing right with GTA 5, like GTA Online, before they release it
Yeah,
on
implement
with GTA
the
6
right
Online.
stuff, remove the wrong stuff. Get rid of this pay to
Uh,
play type things.
That's just it, though. I'm not sure they will
Or
because it is
not,
Rockstar,
I
and like
mean,
most, what do you call it? Activision Blizzard, they've lost
yeah,
a lot of their like key founding staff. Like they have only one Hauser brother left to be like the executive Jim. I don't really know what his position is, but everyone knows that the GTA series is pretty much made by the Hauser brothers.
yeah,
And with one less Hauser brother and more Take Two, Rockstar, Price, whateverness, I'm just not really confident that it's going to be, you know what I mean, right? It's just going to be very much into
yeah.
the hey, why don't you buy a short card type thing?
It's
And
like,
one of the
hey,
evidence of
spend
that,
money to try and get something instead of grind,
yeah,
collect, and then do something.
yeah, grind fest.
Like,
I
I,
mean, not a grind fest,
I
a
guess,
money spend fest
yeah, I
or
guess
grind
I
fest
would
to try and
say
make up
don't
for it.
get rid of like all their pay currency stuff, but like maybe add a premium type currency like most games do have, or
Yeah, I think that's
limit the amount you can use or like get at a time, like a cooldown type
yeah,
thing.
or earn it as well.
Yes.
I think that's a good idea to earn it because I know that a few freemium games they worked well by having the pay pay currency being something you earn, and I mean not just like
Yeah.
the GTA pay thing, but like you can actually do it and even wager it sometimes, so
I
that if you go for free, you at least get one back,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I
I mean that
actually
is
do have a
gambling again,
good
but
reference
yeah,
with that. Is Warframe, free to play game, completely free.
mm,
They have a paid currency that you can get in the game, which is used for trading to get better gear. You can You do not need to spend money to get any of it whatsoever. You could trade solely to collect all this paid currency, which is used in almost 90% of anything in the game. So it's used to speed up crafting things, buy certain things from the store, and even just buy things off of other players. It's a worldwide thing for that game, and it makes it so much, it makes so much difference in your way of playing. It makes it easier to go up a level in like completion. Like,
Mhm. I
yeah,
actually know another game that is a equal success story. In fact, actually helped revive its own franchise, which is Ace Combat, and they released a freemium game where they had the currency, which was points, which you used to buy parts and jets and whatever else, but they also had a second currency, which was fuel, and the fuel was something you could take contracts on. You could take free at a time or as many as you want, and you did objectives, and if you did it in the free, because you get free fuels for free every day. So you can play free missions for free, and if you earned everything, yeah, I know it's a little confusing, free, but if you did those objectives within uh, the free fuels, you could actually earn one or two fuels from doing contracts, and so you'd have like two extra fuels to play for the rest of the day, or bank it so that you could just keep playing the game longer on another day. And so most people they would just play it 3 times in a row, and then people who had because they did the contracts all the day, and the contracts weren't difficult. You just had to decide whether or not you want to pick one. Because if you picked the fuel contracts, it means that you pretty much didn't pick more like ones for parts or ones for jets to make them cheaper or whatever. And that's clever because it balances playtime versus points, which is two currencies pitting against each other. And so you have
yeah,
people who would play it 4 times a day, but or 3 times a day, and then that was balanced against whether or not they got the jet they wanted to play, and it worked. I mean, the game was downloaded for more than a million, 3 million actually, 3 million times. It was a freemium game, and it helped to revive the series so that Ace Combat 7 could be made. And that was pretty much one of the big titles that came out for the PS4 and PS4 VR. So you know, it is a success story that people can learn from of how to do dual currencies, especially when they're functional rather than just make them pure currencies.
exactly.
I think that's a good lesson learned, and
Right.
that's another thing about it because one of the other currencies that I found in GTA 5 that I don't think it was ever meant to be one, and I don't think anyone actually planned for this to happen, but they have lent into it. It is a thing now. Is cars. Like cars are such a weird currency in GTA Online right now. There are entire forums on Reddit and Discord all about trading cars. And the reason for that is because of all the creep for the shark cards, and it's actually gotten worse on the re-release for GTA 5 because you know how there's the cars like the Massacro, the Jester, and
Yeah. The
which and the Comet, all those really nice cars that we used to have at the beginning of the game that were free. Well, not free, but it's like they came with the game standard.
yeah,
So
the
yeah, and they were
the
all like
the
100K,
usual
which
gun,
is
the
yeah,
usual
they were
ones.
all 100K.
Yeah,
So like around that price range.
they were
And
like
even the Infernus, that was like
they
yeah,
weren't that
400K.
expensive.
So
Now they're just massively
yeah, they're
expensive.
relatively cheap now. But like back then, it was like you needed to grind for an hour to get about 100,000, which is fine. Now a grind for an hour he now is about $1 million in GTA.
Yeah,
But so but these cars, which were all in the early game, like even the Sanchez, like iconic bike there, the quintessential dirt bike, the Sanchez, and all those other cars I just mentioned, they are no longer purchasable on GTA Online. Like you can't go onto the website, you can't buy them. They were removed. They weren't removed from the game, but they were removed from the ability to purchase them easily.
yeah,
And now it's like all this convoluted stuff. Like all like I know what they were doing, and on paper it's a good idea to force people to interact with these things, which is like the LS Car Meet, Simeon, who has a dealership. There's a premium dealership in the Rockford Beverly Hills area, and if you own an auto shop, you get cars to come in to your place that are unique. and you can rebuy all these cars if they show up. So there's RNG in there. But man, is that really annoying? Like cars that were basically their standard and they spawn on the street, and you used to think, man, I can own this car if I want to. And for the first half of the game, like up to the first heist, you could do that. But somewhere along the line, Rockstar saw that these cars were the car culture in GTA is pretty valuable. They took all that away, and then they just made it infernally tedious to get any of these cars at all.
Yeah. One way they
And,
could do it
and in
is,
GTA 5, I mean, not PS5.
yeah,
We're getting into a lot of letters and numbers here, but in PS5 generation, I'm just gonna call it that for simplicity's sake.
say old
For the
gen
PS5
or
generation of the game,
new gen, old
yeah,
gen.
no, no, no. It goes across three gens. It's
Yeah.
gonna be really confusing there.
So
For the most part,
yeah,
for the most part it follows the heists, like the old gen stuff. So I don't really mind saying pre and post heists. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, here's the kicker. You know what it is that happened on PS5? There's
What?
something called the premium what's it called? The premium auto star, and you can buy all the cars you want. You know, everything is standard. Everything was at the price they were. Everything is fine. But do you know what you need to be able to have a membership at this?
What do you need?
You need $6 US IRL,
Oh wow.
and it's a subscription, so you have to pay it repeatedly. So
Oh
it's no
no.
longer shark cards; they're literally just charging you to get cars that were already like in the game for you to buy originally. They took away something that was essentially your right to have, or free comparatively to all the shark card gouging cars. Like when it first came out, the game 100,000 was 1 hour's work. Now it's 1 million, and so every car that comes out is about 2 to 3 million. That's the average. All these
Yeah.
cars that are 100,000 to buy them, you need to spend $6 in real life. That's what's happened,
That's too
and that's
much.
why I'm kind of terrified about like GTA 6's online thing, because we've already seen that RDR2 was their online was destroyed by price gouging, and they've done this when it re-released in PS5. So like that's a giant warning sign that they have not learned their lesson. And if anything, they've recognized that car culture is one of the biggest money makers they can find. Like people really like car culture in GTA 5, but as a consequence, like we used to see so many custom cars around, and everyone complained that there wasn't enough customization.
Hmm.
Now, even though I still see those impromptu car meets races, they barely anyone uses custom cars at all because
Yeah.
they know that most people can't afford it. There's a giant price gap, and most of the people just don't own the cars. They can't even own the cheap cars to compete, which are still pretty good. Like the Zentorno, I can't get the Zentorno off the websites anymore, and that would have been like a really really good car because because performance wise, that's actually one of the better cars you can find, and that's not available for you because they want you to be able to pay $6 for it. That is bullshit, no matter what universe you're in, you know?
Yeah. No, it is
And I'm afraid
absolutely
that's
bullshit.
what they're gonna do.
The fact that you
Yeah.
had to
I'm just
spend
I don't
six
see a reason
US
they won't do
real
that.
life money, $6 just so you are able to
For
get
something,
any of all the other cars,
yeah.
all the cars that exist in the game. And it was a monthly subscription, so you'd have to pay it every single time to keep using them. Just makes it so
And
then
these
they're
were
just
cars that you
money
could
grabbing.
already own.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
like us,
They took
old school
away
time.
your an ability you had.
Yeah, like us from the
Yeah,
old school time,
that's like
PS4,
the whole
PS3, we bought all the cars from that point on. Every time there would be new cars out, we would grind, buy them new cars. I mean, I had all the cars up to a certain point, I think about 2017, 2016, where I stopped playing it that much. I had two of everything that had ever been released in GTA 5. on two different characters. My main character had everything.
So
My
did I.
second character had everything. It was like there was that much money to be earned, and everything was so much cheaper back then that I had actually wanted to spend more of my in-game cash by using both my characters because they have the money linked with both of them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It really was just like if you earned with one character, you could just duplicate everything with your second one. But they've
Exactly.
shot themselves in the foot with that. If the fact that there are no more custom cars in most races anymore. Like I seriously, I love the racing in GTA 5. That's one of the reasons why cars are so popular. But it's like no one uses their own cars unless it's a tuner race because you can actually win cars in the LS car meet.
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's the only time I actually see custom cars. It's in that era. Everyone else just turns it off,
All
and
right.
they've shot themselves in the foot. I can't, and that's a bad sign because it shows that they haven't learned any lessons from Red Dead Redemption 2's failure. And it's one of the reasons I'm really concerned about GTA 6 when it comes out and its reliance on car culture. Like, what if they actually try to do this in single player? That's my main concern because back when it originally came out and they were sensible people at Rockstar, they would let you own the cars that you would like to earn. I mean, own like the Merryweather Mesa, the Jeep. No one
Yeah.
could own that at first, but then they heard everyone wanting to be able to own it, and rather
Yeah,
than glitching
because
it to own it, they just made it available.
and another way of
That
people
can't
doing it
happen
is
now.
you would get your friends to call the mercenaries on you. You kill them all, take their jeeps, and go for just cruise in them. That's how we
Yeah,
used to do it before.
yeah, I know. It's like there was like tricks to doing it, but now it's like and I think that way still works, but you can't just buy it. That's the problem. It's restricting your access to stuff that it should be normal for you to access. Or they've seen what was normal to access and then they've added barriers to it. So they've limited people's experience. And if it wasn't limiting people's experience, we'd see more custom cars everywhere. But instead it's the opposite, really. And you can tell that that's their prerogative because one of the cars that they have in GTA 5 is called the Torador, and it basically has jet boost. It can go underwater. It can seat four people, and it can shoot missiles. That car is now banned from pretty much every mission you can play in GTA 5. Like that's the reaction thing. They didn't tweak the game so that it could be banned in certain situations, but they just banned it wholesale, which shows that they have a limited thinking process. And that's just my terrifying thing when it comes to cars in GTA 6. Because everyone looks at how cool they are, how awesome they are, and I'm sure they will be awesome in single player. But what happens in multiplayer? That's the big worry. Like, how do I know they're not going to price gouge? I mean, we know they're going to price gouge, but how bad will it be? That's the real concern for me.
We're hoping not that bad.
Yeah, but realistically, you just look at the history and their thinking process, and the evidence of that thinking process has been they haven't learned. If anything, they're pushing more into it. I think back to Red Dead Redemption 2, they actually made a character representing Rockstar, like the super executive price gouging part of it, into a guy who is contemptibly price gouging the main character, Arthur Morgan. And it's like, is there anything you want to tell us, Rockstar, about the people who own you? It's like the least subtle jab you could find because I think they even said like the guy was facially similar to one of the executives who was doing it. I don't remember which character it is because I haven't managed to play much of Red Dead Redemption 2 personally. Like I've
Neither have
watched other
I.
people play it but yeah, I want to. I have the game. I intend to play it, but it's just like being an adult sucks, especially in 2020. The 2020 decade sucks. But
True,
yeah,
true, true. All right.
yeah, it's just like what is Rockstar's? viewpoint on this. It's like they know it's bad. So if even they're saying it kind of sucks, what's gonna happen? What is gonna happen? I know it's doom and gloom where everyone's like saying, "Oh, this is cool," but it's like I kept my tongue in when Star Wars was owned by Disney, and I always had that cautious optimism that maybe they wouldn't ruin it. But even though I know they kind of killed their own franchise with Narnia, because that was going to be their competitor to Harry Potter
Um,
and Lord of the Rings. It seemed
yeah,
like a good setup. Narnia had a lot of books. It followed the fairy tale structure, and it was episodic, so they could just do whatever they wanted with it.
with the release of the Fallen Order, the Star Wars game that came out a few years ago. Uh, that was after, yeah, that was after Disney owned it and they released Battlefront 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, but that's really more EA because they had that exclusive contract thing. But
True.
Disney Star Wars has gone down as pretty bad. Just
Yeah.
universally, no one really
Star Wars
cares
has a
about
tendency
Disney Star
of
Wars.
just grabbing stuff and removing what's made the game so unique because of how they try to keep everything quote unquote family friendly.
Yeah, Disneyfication,
Yeah.
essentially. That's what that means. And I'm not trying to make this about Star Wars or anything, but like that's what happens when you sort of don't really understand that your audience doesn't like this, is what I'm saying. And it proves that just because it's a big brand doesn't mean like Disney has been the quintessential example that there's no such thing as too big to fail. I'm afraid Rockstar might be running into that problem with GTA 6 if they do the online, or if it shows up, any of this stuff that I talked about shows up in the single player. Like I'm not convinced that it wouldn't show up in the single player because this is modern Rockstar. They have
Yeah.
emptied out that just like a Blizzard Activision has emptied out all the founders of Blizzard and has just sort of like you just have to talk to all the World of Warcraft players and Overwatch players how hollow their games have become. I'm afraid that might be happening at Rockstar with GTA.
I mean, look at the fact
I
that
mean,
there is Overwatch 2. What did they do?
yeah,
They made a quote unquote new game, but it's the exact same as the original with new characters and the graphics have been upped a bit. It's like there hasn't
yeah.
been next to no changes whatsoever. I don't know why they changed the name to it. It just
Yeah,
made
I
no
actually
sense.
know some people who play World of Warcraft. I don't play it personally, but according to them, it's just become this sort of like it's just getting really annoying to play because of just how much they charge you for stuff that really should be standard, or they're not really
Yeah,
doing the game justice as much as they used to. And again, we lost one of the Howard brothers. Like we didn't lose him; he just retired. But I have no idea if that's because he did it voluntarily or if he saw the tides coming or whatever. But the point is clear:
he got out while
there
he
are
still
less
could.
people who actually care about. Yeah, there are less people who just care about the game or the players of the game, and more about the money the game will make.
Yeah,
I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 should be a game we're still talking about right now, and it has the reach to do so. And the single player proves that those people are still there. But the single player is like a one-off experience. It's a fast food. You unwrap it, you eat it, you're done. You're not expected to have a membership later, which is what the online portion is, and that's where I'm terrified because that is the main concern for money making for Rockstar and Take Two now, and I'm afraid that's going to leach into everything else. I know I'm sounding doom and gloom, but I just can't get over of how different GTA was at the beginning as opposed online was at the beginning as to what it is now with the
exactly.
$6 nonsense, and they thought that was a good idea, and they're still doing it,
It's
so
like
they
real
haven't
life.
reflected on that.
It's like the
Yeah,
first 18 years of your life versus your adulthood. It's like GTA starts off of everything just being super easy, so fun, and then it's like, oh god, this is so different. I have to buy everything?
yeah,
Question mark?
yeah, yeah. And GTA 6 is basically a product of the later GTA online thinking. So there's going to be good things in single player. I don't doubt that, but how will that translate to online? That's my main concern.
Yeah. Alright. Let's
Yeah,
shall we shift on to
maybe we should move
another
on.
yeah, another topic of
Yeah,
GTA 6. We're still staying on the game itself, we just change
Yeah,
it from the
we
online
can talk
set.
about different
Or
aspects, but yeah, that's
yeah, another aspect. Another aspect what made GTA 5, or I should probably more or less say for the online, so like such a great thing was your character customization. You'd go in, choose your gender, get to tune it with a bit. It wasn't that much of tuning to make your character look different, but there were different ways you can make your character change. I feel if they add way more features, way more sliders for like pure, like genuine tuning it to a such a degree that you create a completely new person. Because in GTA 5, how many times have you run into someone that had a character look like another character? Because there was not that
yeah, I
much.
know what you mean.
In GTA
It's
6,
basically
for its online sense, if they make their character customization a bit more advanced, making it so you can create a character that no one else will be able to create unless you add an import export character customization button, so you can export your code, like everything that you've done for detailing, save it into a file that you can save for later.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You basically it's like you're talking about like making it like a Minecraft skin, whereas I'm sure most people would just
Almost,
like
yeah.
say, why don't you just do it like the standard thing like Saints Row did? Because I really didn't. I don't think a lot of people understood the ancestor thing. And I think I get it. It's just basically templates and then calculating which template is which. But like you said, it didn't result in a lot of variety. Those characters did not.
Yeah.
They looked pre-planned more
They
than they did
they
representational.
yeah, they were always pre-planned. You got to start with a base model and then work up from that instead of start in the middle, because that usually gets rid of all the fun. Like
Yeah,
Mass Effect Andromeda. Lots of people reckon that has been a failed game for their fourth game, except for I did not mind it. I loved it. It had a lot of time in story. It took me over 80 hours personally to complete the entire story, the main story, with a bit of side quests here and there. Not only that, but the character customization. Obviously, you start off of the male or female shepherd from the first three games, and you tweak it from there, creating your own character. But it was also a much more in-depth creation. You could actually change a lot more features than GTA had currently released. And like,
yeah. GTA's character creator is, I think we could agree
yeah,
universally, is just not very well understood
yeah,
as the nicest way to say it.
because like what I said about what they could add with the GTA 6 character creation, Mass Effect Andromeda had a save, like a save button to save the file itself of your character customization, and you could export it and then use it for a later time in case you wanted to. I don't know, give it to someone else that wanted your character build in case they preferred that look over their look, stuff like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That is always a very nice communal thing, and again, they're doing that with cars.
Yeah.
So I see them doing that with like good infrastructure, but I also see them messing that up because l- even though they're doing it with cars, a lot of those people are doing it outside the game. Like I know they have social club, but they don't really integrate that very well.
All right.
So maybe
Yeah.
that might be a chance for them to do, but who knows?
Like I said
Really?
about the mission aspect for GTA 6, about taking a page out of Activision's book with their Warzone, they should also take a page out of 5M, the third
Ooh,
party
yeah,
client created for people to roleplay GTA by creating their own character fully customized from nothing and just making something
yeah.
of themselves. They made their characters look like themselves, made a different person all over. Personally, myself, I like making a character look almost exactly like myself so I can immerse myself into the game and feel like I'm actually there. It's one reason why I like character customization in a lot of games is if I can create a
I
character
think a lot do
that makes
like
it
that.
so I look like my character, then I feel more inclined to keep playing because it just brings life to the character. If you just go in with a bougie ass, half-assed character, it just doesn't really seem that fun. It ruins it. It gives it a blandness to the whole thing.
Yeah, I know it's a sense of immersion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I do know what you mean. I do want them to have like better character customization thing because they did add a lot of abilities to do it. Like you know, from the fact that you when GTA 5 originally came out, they were like showing that Trevor and Franklin and Michael could all look the way you want them to do. You know,
Yeah.
bald, bearded, and tattooed from all ways
Ears
and all the different
pierced, wear
clothing.
jewelry, change their
Yeah,
clothing styles to different ones. Instead of Trevor always look like a
yeah.
bum, you could give him a suit. Instead of Michael looking all
I mean,
serious
I
in
could
a suit, give him casual clothes. And
yeah.
then it's like you can change their personality just by changing their clothing. Another thing with the
Yeah, no,
campaign
and
for
I've seen
GTA
a
6.
lot of ones with afros and thick beards or none of the above. I mean, I kept it standard because I liked the characters being the characters, but I know a lot of people like that, and they gave them the option in single player. So I want to see, like, I mean, we know we have that option already in GTA 5 with those basic options, but I want to see it more accurate. I guess is what I'm saying. I want to be able to like give my character an eye patch or something like that.
Yeah.
I want him to, and I don't want him to like say, "Hey, basically, are you descended from Nico Bellic?" I mean, I don't mind templates, but I want templates that I can tweak so that it looks more like me. I want to be able to see someone who looks. I kind of want to be able to see someone who will eventually look like they came straight out of a comic book on one end, and then on the other end, meet a player who looks like they came straight out of like an anime on another end. I know GTA won't let that happen, but
Yeah.
there's so many robust custom character creators out there that you can find games where it's like you'll see Superman who looks like he does from the 50s next to Sailor Moon in one game. And I kind of wonder why hasn't GTA done something to get us halfway there with that type of thing yet? Because you mentioned 5M,
Yeah.
like first person has been a thing that a lot of people do tweak into GTA, every GTA really, because it is a third person game until 5. I think that was evidence of them listening to their audience and using mods
Oh,
as like a
yeah.
guide.
And also bringing back towards the original beginning of the game, where there was a glitch we used to do at the fair on the pier to be able to
Oh
um,
yeah,
go into first person view. We used to do
yeah,
that
lock
to
us in there.
mess up the game's point of view so we can have fun with it.
Yeah,
It was one way
yeah.
of
I mean, I know that
changing
another
it.
thing that glitches to basically do. I want us to be able to like just I want them to listen to the 5M crowd and like see what are the options we could do. Because one of the things
Yeah,
that is popular on streaming is just being a cop in GTA. Because you know before they used to be able to do bounty hunting in
yeah.
GTA
Because
4 and
like
onwards. Like you just got into a cop car and then you responded to crimes, pretended you were a cop for a while, even though you were still Nico Bellic and whoever else, or
exactly,
Tommy Vercetti,
exactly. Because
which
nowadays
is the least thing. But yeah,
Yeah, nowadays, if you load up Twitch and then go to the GTA 5 section of Twitch's game section for categories, you'll notice probably about, I'm not kidding, 99% of everyone on there is streaming 5M in a
mm,
roleplay server, either a cop or just some sort of like civilian, someone working normal jobs or going around, or some sort of criminal,
yeah,
like doing stuff here and there. The
yeah.
other
I think
1% are
I
people playing their very first playthrough of GTA 5's campaign because of GTA 6 and everything going on. They want to get caught up.
yeah. I don't think that's very useful because each of the stories are self-contained. But I can
Yeah,
understand the
like
sentiment.
a lot of
But
people are getting into this. Sorry, cutting you off
yeah,
for a second. A
I
lot of
do
people
want to
are,
just I just
yeah,
yeah. Sorry, continue.
me, yeah, okay, sorry. Just wanted to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
this out. A lot of people are getting into playing the campaign for certain games due to something releasing or is going to release. For example,
yeah.
The Last of Us. No, a lot of people never touched The Last of Us, the first game or the
It's
second game.
yeah.
Now that they have released on, I think it was Stan, the series of The Last of Us, and that had such a massive impact. everyone started buying and playing the first game, especially because they released it on computer. A lot of people got into it, big.
Yeah, basically the cyberpunk effect. But I know
Yeah,
what you mean. It's like uh, it's hype that builds on itself, and I get that.
exactly.
What I'm thinking is like I just want to see some old things return with like better developed better developed mechanics, and taking inspiration from the mods. I want to
Yeah,
see just like how they made first person mode, like a full first person mode. Like even racing car games in like modern day don't do in car interiors anymore because it's just so much. It eats so much. What is it? Graphical power and stuff. GTA
yeah,
did that for every single car, and that's like. Everyone said, "Hey, first person mode. Okay, here's the most detailed first person mode ever." I mean, I'm jumping into the Batmobile here, which is, the vigilante, and it
yeah.
has
And
like
you
this
you got all
cool
these
military
notches, buttons,
here.
everything
Awesome.
fully
Yeah,
decked out, detailed.
yeah. And I want to also just like have all those old mechanics come back because one of the things about GTA 5 is that again, you don't have bounty hunting. You jump into the ambulance. You can't pick up people to heal them. You can't go into a fire truck and solve fires like you used to in old games. Because you could do that in old games. I don't know why they stopped that in GTA 5. And people clearly want to do that. That's what they're doing in 5M. So give us that at the level of first personness. And you know what? Here's actually an idea. You know how the character switch mode? There's
Yeah,
like the bottom one is your online character.
yeah,
Why don't you bring your online character into single player so you can use that character to do all of that? If like
yeah.
making the criminals in the game is like too much of a stretch,
That
because
is
then you
actually a
have
good
like
idea.
GTA roleplay like supported by GTA itself.
Yeah, and the fact
I
that
hope,
switching characters as well. The GTA 5 character swap is so long. You
that's
swap
a
it,
cool function.
it pans out to a sky view, moves over to wherever the other
Yeah,
character is, and gone into it. Maybe change that into
yeah.
a faster way. Like I don't know,
Well, I think it
addition.
will be because like Spider-Man, which is the most popular PS5 game,
Yeah,
like the sequel with Miles Morales and Peter Parker, they just do that. But they do it like in the most Spider-Man way. They do it with like you flying through the city streets, and then you're the other Spider-Man. So character switching has become like a mechanic in other games other than GTA, and it's done so smoothly and so well.
I mean, another smooth
Like
way to do it, especially for GTA,
yeah,
is like you get on the your character gets on the phone, sends a message to the other character, and it goes into that phone and out of the other phone into the next character. Such a fast,
yeah.
smooth
Actually, I
way.
think that would be a cool way to do it
Like especially that would be
because
a good way of doing it with the walk. What am I saying?
or
Watch
Hangouts.
Dogs. Something
Oh
like
yeah,
that for Watch Dogs, because Watch Dogs is all about your character hacking stuff and using a phone to hack most of the time.
yeah. I kind of wish you could. I kind of like the idea of them meeting and then like you do a hangout friend date, like they do in
GTA
like
5.
5 and 4. But
Yeah, and 4.
rather than like it ending and then you dropping off the players, you switch. You can have the option to switch as that player when it ends, or when you call that player. Like you can do. They could drop a bit of story and stuff because you have two characters there. Like they chose the man and the woman, and the cover art, the usual graffito GTA style art, promotion art that they do. It shows that those two are shown in equal prominence, so there probably are two main protagonists.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a I think they
They're
are romantically involved.
Yeah,
I think
they
there's a
do
way
seem
for
to
us to
be
just
a
like
romantically evolved duo character, as both of them being the main protagonists of the
I think
entire
there's a
story.
yeah, I think there's a chance for them to just like enter a conversation and then maybe I don't know during one of those not quite cutscenes like in-game thing we can press a button. And just like how in GTA 5, if you came in to a cutscene as one character, you would enter from their perspective.
Yeah,
Like if I was Franklin and I was the last one to arrive, I would get the least amount of cutscene, but it'd be like still the full cutscene. Like you'd come in during when Franklin and I mean you'd come in when Trevor and Michael were talking to each other.
yeah,
Whereas if you were there as Trevor, who probably was like there first, he'd be doing standard Trevor nonsense, and then Michael would sort of just show up and is like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" type thing.
ruling the
I
mood.
want to see that, but with like GTA 6, like maybe you press a button in the middle of the cutscene and it starts becoming his perspective or her perspective type thing. Like you exit the character, I mean, you exit the cutscene as that character type thing.
Yeah,
I
instead
think
of
that'd be
being
cool.
that character you chose to play as to start with, so that way
Yeah,
you can choose.
yeah. And as for like sorry,
No, no,
I'll let you finish right after this. As for like you saying it took a while, I think like the hardware, that's a hardware issue because one of the things that I learned about the re-release of Spider-Man is that like the fast travel there, it was basically Spider-Man taking the subway, and people love that because they would just see Spider-Man on his phone in the subway, and that was the most charming thing, like
yeah,
about the fast travel. When it went into PS5, they missed that. It was still in the game, but PS5 loaded in so fast that they basically never saw that again. It was like, I'm so upset I can't see it anymore because the hardware is so good. So yeah, I just wanted to
yeah.
address that quickly. So back to what you were saying
I was
before.
just saying, like,
I
yeah,
interrupted you with
it'd
that.
be a good idea to be able to switch like immediately to the character whenever you chose to during the cutscene. So it's like during the
Mm,
cutscene, if you want to be this character before they finish it, then you can, instead of waiting till it's finished then swapping. Like you said, being
yeah,
able to press a certain button to swap to that character mid cutscene and then go to their point of view and then come out of it as them is a good way of like
yeah,
giving more immersion to the story itself.
yeah. And imagine if they included like my little idea just then to have your single player character.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, your multiplayer
your
character be a
multiplayer
single player for a bit of things. Just as a silent dude, that would be awesome. That'd be kind of awesome.
as a silent dude. I don't know.
I don't know.
Imagine just being able to give your character a voice,
I
or
mean, they do it for like GTA Online. Like, there's a whole sequence of cutscenes there where every other character says everything, and they just say, "Oh, you're mute." Like Lester makes
yeah,
constant like things about. I'd say something about cutting out your tongue, but I don't really use it that much, so that
yeah.
wouldn't be much of a threat. Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that can't they've written around it pretty well.
a good way of
So
doing it
I
is
can see
like
that working.
games have been coming out with this such useful ideas and stuff, like because a lot of games coming out with proximity chat. Proximity chat brings a lot more realism to a game, and lots of games are like if you make too much noise into your microphone, AI start to pick up on that and be able to do stuff. And with GTA 5
Yeah, noise
as
canceling.
yeah, in online as your GTA 5 character, you'd rob a shop, and if you had your mic on and you make noise into your microphone, it would actually pick up for the I don't know, lots of people I've seen with fucking friends barking into their mics while they're robbing shops
Yeah,
because apparently they hear audio and then get intimidated, but instead make it like audio
yeah. I
cues
imagine there's
certain
a
words for your character to actually say something, or like your voice be projected into the game as your character would also help change it a lot. It'll bring it alive a bit more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think there's a thing there where you have to at least talk to the mic a little bit just to establish a control point, and then it erases every other noise before it goes on. Like I think that's how that works because that's how it works for like audio editing. You have to get a control sound base, and then you have to be silent and let it listen to the bass room first, just to know what silence it should be, and then the AI just sort of does that in real time by just measuring the waveforms and removing what's what. Like that's how it works in audio engineering, and a genuine audio engineer could tell you a little bit more of how that would work. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think it would just be like an on and off switch. Not at first. You still have to program it a bit. So I
Yeah,
know what you mean. That
it'll
would be a
take a
good
lot of
idea for
time
them
for
to
them to
introduce
do that.
that because I imagine GTA. I don't know if GTA would do that, but it would be a good idea to
If
do
they're
like
the
that
first
plus proximity chat
yeah, if they are the first
because they're
people to ever
already
do that, then they would be able to
yeah.
break the margin and get a lot more money, and they can even claim the right to use that type of um I don't know um
That that would be
audio
annoying.
feature. Like, so then if someone
I
else
don't.
wants to be able to use that type of thing, they have to go through Rockstar first to be able to get it. But if they sit
Oh
on
no, they
something
can't.
too long,
They've one of which was the game one that did that already? It was like the Doritos, I think. Like they already have an app that does that because it's like they advertise as, you can enjoy the crunch without being ASMR type thing. There was like a whole advertising thing about it. But I know what you mean. Like it would be a popular way to make chat online a little bit more civil and make some of the mini games a little bit better because I think they already have something like proximity chat like that in what was it, death matches, because you can't really hear the other team or you can't hear someone else unless they're in your direct line of sight. So that was already a thing in GTA 5, but I don't think
Yeah.
many people played death matches enough to appreciate that. At least that's my experience.
I mean,
And
we did.
GTA is imitating other other game modes. Like they already did the DVD in GTA with a bit of slasher mode with the what do you call it? Halloween special updates.
Yeah.
They did a sort of DVD mode. And that's the thing about GTA. It's really all the good ideas from other games, driving, shooting, free roam, stealth, and character customization. It's not the best version of each, but they put a very good, solid version of it, of what you can have available at that time, into one game. So I can
Exactly.
imagine they would be thinking about doing this, and that's
Like a
what makes
game
GTA
center.
so good. It's like,
Instead of
yeah,
swapping to a different
yeah,
game every time to play a certain way.
in GTA is so good, and the car culture about customization is so good, and like there's so many different subcultures in GTA that it kind of could self-sustain itself. Like you could just have GTA, and then like maybe one update they will just do a midnight club in GTA at one point because I can totally see that because Midnight Club is a another Rockstar series that they've totally just sort of left in limbo.
Yeah.
But given that GTA is their cash cow and Rockstar is Rockstar or Take Two, executive meddling type company now, I can imagine them doing that. And I think it would actually work because it's really hard to monetize mechanics, really.
True.
But yeah, I I just feel I can also see some of that like people have talked about the meta in like just the cars. I've seen people do that with the gunplay in GTA as well. It's gotten good enough that it's not really on the level like Call of Duty or dedicated shooters, but people do like the same type of measurements with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they combine from previous games that we've seen since GTA 5 has come out
Yeah. With
into what GTA 6 is. That's one
exactly.
thing I'm looking forward to.
All right. I feel like we can move on from there. Just need to figure out what.
Yeah. Maybe just the story instead, because we haven't talked about that.
True. All right. Let's start with that.
Because
You want to go?
like yeah, because GTA 4, best story in GTA. I don't think that's not a universal opinion, but that's a like general like that's a no, it is a universal opinion. I'm willing to bet that GTA 4 most fans will say has the best story in the entire series. And of course, like Free Leaf Clover became the influence for heists in GTA 5, which GTA 5 itself has a I don't know, has an entire game worth of cut content in it. When you look it up, like we were meant to heist Martin Madrazo at some point. Like he was built as an antagonist that we never really got to resolve. It was just written out in the second moment. They they wanted to do more heists as well. Like there's gonna be two at the docks, which is why there was that really long mission with the crane, and then it just led into what was it? It just led into Trevor either heisting something from Merryweather at somewhere in Polito and something
Yeah.
else. Yeah, like that really felt really clumsy. You can sense that they want to do more there. And of course
But they
there's just
never actually
so much talk about like
pushed for it.
the the casino. How long was that under development? Everyone knew the casino was going to be a thing and how long until it was released. You could tell they wanted to make that a single player thing, but they just couldn't. GTA 5 has so much cut content that I'm sure they're just re-releasing it as DLC now. I'm hoping they don't do that with GTA 6. I'm hoping all this time has meant that they have developed the game fully. so that does feel like we can have a competitor to GTA 4's story quality with the variety as GTA 5, is what I'm saying. Because I kind of miss GTA 4.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Because, like, who's the most memorable character in GTA 4, really?
Gay
Because I
Tony,
guarantee you,
right?
yeah, Gay Tony's one, and they brought him back for
Yeah, and
GTA
he's in
Online.
GTA 5 for the GTA Online, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I
I mean that's
didn't get 100% into GTA 4. I played it here and there. I didn't play too much of it and never completed the campaign for it.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that the gameplay is a little bland. It's just shoot everyone and shoot everyone there, shoot everyone there, shoot everyone there, and drive. But like, man, the characters in that throughout the whole story is just the writing is so good. Like Bernie, I don't know if you know who Bernie is from GTA 4.
No,
Do
no
you
clue.
know? Okay, well he's a late game character, and so there's a burden about like introducing late game characters. They're either going to be really forgettable, really rubbish, or whatever. Bernie is in for only a few missions, and he's one of my favorites because he just get like Rockstar really knows how to do character writing. Uh, hang on. You know how you did the activities thing, right? Look up Weekend at Florian's, and we'll watch the opening cutscene to that, and I'll show you why Bernie is one of my favorites. I'm willing to break down that cutscene to show you
All right.
why.
Let's open up the
This will be a good
YouTube
way to know how
activity.
good GTA 4 characters are in terms of the writing, because the writing in all of GTA is solid, and I don't think they're going to drop that for GTA 6. Because again, going back to Red Dead Redemption 2 as like a case study,
Here we
that is
go.
well written. From
I've,
what I can tell, it is, and everyone says that is well written.
yeah, I've started up the activity. If you want to go in there, you can write in the
Yep,
titles.
jumped in.
You
All
should
right,
have control over it now.
all right. Let me just Weekend at Florian's. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, okay. Here's the opening cutscene, and this is what I'm talking about, like good, memorable characters and good
Hungry
writing.
Jack's new Texan
And
Bacon
I'm just
Deluxe.
seeing a Hungry
Crispy
Jack's ad.
bacon with double flame
Nah.
grilled beef, Texan smoky barbecue, and creamy peppercorn sauce.
Mate, shut
The
up.
new Texan Bacon Deluxe. The burgers are better
It's
at
almost
Hungry
11.
Jack's.
Why would I go out to get Hungry Jack's? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Leave the world behind. Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
This is not a sponsored video.
You can use email or those digits from your telephone to pay those you owe.
If only. Okay, I will skip forward a little bit. I'm just looking for a cutscene. Where is it? Oh no, it's not the beginning cutscene. It's the it's sort of in the middle or end or something. Anyway,
Get together with
Ah!
Hungry Jack's Mega Feast Bundle.
I got
with
to the
6
point and then
burgers,
it gave me
drinks,
another
chips, and
ad.
pop and
F
chicken
you.
for only $39.95.
There we go.
There's
Here we
something
go.
wrong with the TV. It's all
Hold on,
messed
I
up.
can't see anything.
What that means.
Or what could
Oh.
it mean?
I'll pause it.
Alright,
Tell me when you're ready. Okay, it's played anyway.
Florian! I've come for you, Florian. Oh, go away! Florian. Yesitotti. Nico? What the hell are you doing here? What happened to you? Oh, I started working out. You know, toned up the,
Florian? You used to work in the abattoir?
Oh, don't remind me. Roman? You put on a few vanity pounds. What are you guys doing here? Why did you kick my door down? I've come to ask you some questions. It wasn't you, was it? What wasn't me? Who set us up? It was you or Darko. I thought it must be him. Oh my god. You think it was me? That's why you are here. You've come to kill me. Well, screw you, Nico Bellic and Fatty Roman. It wasn't me, it wasn't. I wouldn't do that.
Can we stop with the fat jokes, Florian?
It's Bernie now. After I came here, I wanted a complete change, so I became Bernie Crane. I'm sorry about the fat thing. You're still kind of cute.
Gee, thanks.
What are you doing here? Well, I'm a lifestyle coach, and I teach an aerobics class, and I'm in love. He's married. It's so doomed. And he's in politics. He's the deputy mayor.
Bryce Dawkins? But he's so into family values.
Oh, that's just politics.
Where is Darko?
Dead, I hope. I'm not sure. I heard he was still in Europe or Switzerland or somewhere. But then I heard that you had joined the circus, so information can be unreliable.
We have to find him. We have to find him.
I think he's a bit freaked out. I guess he thought seeing you would answer some questions.
So I see. Well, it's great to see you guys. We must do brunch.
Sure. See you later, Florian.
Bernie!
So, Florian has changed?
Yes.
He's moved on from what happened to you. You should have moved on too. What are you going to do?
He may not be here in Liberty City, but he's still out there. I will find out where Darko Brevich is, and I will make him answer for his actions. We know now that it was him. I need to be alone now, Roman.
Sure.
Hi, Katie.
I'll see you later then. Call me, okay?
I'm not working with them anymore because their whole office stinks.
That's it?
Yeah, that's a cutscene. So we can leave activities now. But yeah, basically that's sort of like that whole thing there, that little exchange was basically emblematic of what I like about GTA's writing. Because Florian's clearly a stereotype about, homosexuality from his apartment with all the visual gay gags and his overly campy attitude. But even then, there was like depth to his character. Because like you see it with the contrast of how he talks to Roman and how he talks to Nico. Like Nico's scarred from all of his experiences, and so is Florian. He like by the way his voice changes and it's like goes deep and dark and stuff. But then when he's talking to Roman, it's all light and happy conversation. You know, it's like showing at the end there. It even says like, well, he's moved on from what's happened, and Nico really hasn't. So it's like he's gone through the same experiences as Nico, but he's still sort of an affable guy like Roman, because Roman is because they all come from the same place, but they've all him and Nico have gone through the dark stuff of the Yugoslav wars, whereas Roman got out early, and Nico's moved on, and Florian hasn't. And that's sort of what I love. I just love GTA being able to do that with its characters, because all the characters are reflections of Nico and like his darkness, his ability to adapt, his ability to show he's a nice person, his gonna go through with being a revenger at the end, or if he's gonna try and give a chance to the land of opportunity. And that's sort of what I like. It stayed on theme throughout the whole thing while being a stereotype, a funny stereotype, but also being a deep character. Like that whole exchange, you get the idea of who Florian is. He's more than just like a, ooh, I'm gay. He's a he's a he's complex. Like Nico or Roman. It's good writing. And I want to see more of that. I mean, GTA 5 had deep writing too, but it like again, you could feel it was cut up. I want to see that deep writing more consistent in GTA 6.
Yeah.
And I hope like we have a theme there. Like I think the theme there was staying together or something like that. But I don't know what that would be. Uh I guess they're Bonnie and Clyde or something. I have no idea. But yeah. I don't know. We'll have to wait for more to be revealed there, but I'm hoping they can stay on theme with the writing on that one.
Once there's a trailer 2, we'll figure it out by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully, bringing us some more information about how the story is or what it's about.
Yeah. And
Pretty sure
I
said
just
same
love
thing.
the characters in GTA 4 for being all that kind of flamboyant stereotypes, but memorable in the right ways. Whereas GTA 5, I think because of all the phone calls, like the annoying phone calls in GTA 4, they wrote those in, but they made it too optional. I think most people didn't realize that you could hang out with Jimmy at different points of the story, and he's the only character who knows all three protagonists plus Lamar, and I think that's a missed opportunity there because he's a good reflection to all of them as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Same with Lamar too. He could hang out with all three protagonists too because he was meant to take over from Franklin in the Death Wish ending, but they didn't go through with that. And good thing too. But you know, I can't help but feel they chickened out on that one a little bit, and playing as Lamar would probably make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and what I've noticed as well is how the end of GTA 5's campaign was there was a way you could either kill one character, another, or no one died.
Mm.
Um, I feel like because what has happened was with that after that mission, how the story mode was after that mission actually depicted the rest of the story mode to see how everything was ran. So it could have been completely different. Like different characters interact differently with different characters because of certain characters that are there or not. And I feel like that's a good thing because it's consequence. Your actions have consequences. So all characters survive. Most things are like constant and different. One character dies, the characters change. So adding actions to consequences for the new campaign for GTA 6 to change the story differently for everyone would be great. So, like, you do
Mm.
this instead of that in GTA 6, you'll get a different, complete outline of the entire campaign, and it'll change up everything. And it'll have, like, a multiple different instances where there are different things that would change. And that'll, it'll spark up a massive story, which means you could play the game multiple times and still not get the whole story yet. So you'd have to keep playing the campaign over and over again to get each different way the game could go. You know, like
Okay, I get what you mean. Like it's sort
yeah,
of the RPG style of storytelling, but
yeah,
which
an
I think
RPG
actually
style.
could work in GTA because they did
Exactly.
something like that with the morality system with characters who would live and die, and they would live like you'd lose some abilities from the characters who would live, or if you
Yeah,
killed the a character, you get like their properties,
and with
like
GTA
Playboy,
5,
like the Playboy X Dwayne Forge thing, because Dwayne Forge would be your friend, and if you did what he wanted, you would get backup guys from his gang and Playboy X's apartment. Whereas if you played as Playboy X, you essentially get nothing out of it. It was very much a morality thing there. Like it would punish you for picking what Nico wanted to do or what he didn't want to do, or something
exactly.
like, or punish him or reward. I think you could do that with the story, just
Yeah,
not like with the side characters, of course, just like that,
and
rather than
especially
player
what
characters.
it
Player characters
also
don't have
does
to yet,
what it also does is
but
it
yeah,
gives more time to the story, because in GTA 5 what we've seen a lot of times is either people completely ignore the campaign and go into multiplayer and play the online, or in some cases they're
yeah.
like, all right, we want to see how the story goes, play the campaign, after they're done they don't touch it, they go into the online and that's all they do. So this way it brings it so people don't just completely ignore just the campaign. That way they can keep going back.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like the multiple endings thing is always a good idea, and I do think that I am eager to see if they will try that. Like they'll obviously make it a big deal where the story changes because there can only be so many endings, especially if they want to keep characters consistent or whatever. But I don't know. I think I would like to see if there was an option to use heists to do that. Like you know how we never got to heist Martin Madrazo's place. What if we
Yeah,
could, and how would that change the story type thing? Or
exactly.
what if instead of like heisting Merryweather type thing, like what would happen there? Like what would the story be like if we instead like I don't know, heisted David Weston rather than killed him or something? Or, defected from the FIB to make a IAA type thing. Because in GTA Online, the FIB is largely more the enemy than
Yeah.
IAA, as I've noticed, as opposed to in the main story where the FIB is your allies, but they're kind of jerks.
True.
So I don't know. Yeah.
All different
So I
aspects.
don't know. Maybe
Everything
maybe
different.
that'll be an interesting way to continue the story, seeing ULP again, aka Bernard, which for the guy who recruits Nico to be an asset and shows up in GTA 5 and online now. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll even see Agent 14 and other characters who showed up in online mode. Because a lot of the characters from single player in GTA 4 are becoming the auxiliary characters in online. So maybe we'll see a flip of that. I'd also like to see the Lost. Like, I want to see them change to be our
Lost
allies
MC,
again
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Because like you said, when
So
we were playing last, is the Lost MC have gone international. They're a massive biker gang that are all over the globe. So seeing him in GTA
I don't know
6 shouldn't be a surprise, especially one cutscene. Remember when we saw all those motorbikes going through the streets?
yeah.
Who knows? If
I don't know if they've
we
gone.
probably missed a detail on that, it could be the Lost MC driving through town.
I'd be surprised if they didn't show up because bikers were a thing in Vice City, like the original Vice City.
Yeah,
So it'd be weird. I also want to see like them having problems with other biker gangs because the Lost were based on another biker gang, just like they do in regular GTA. They base their
yeah,
gangs on realistic gangs, but mix it up a little bit. And
exactly.
they already had rivals before the AOD Angel of Death. So I don't know. Maybe it's because we were in the West Coast. They said they were irrelevant. Maybe that was just bravado, so that we only see the Lost. But I kind of want to see the Lost again, just maybe as a potential ally rather than full
Yeah,
out enemy.
you go
Because
in, you help you help
yeah,
out the Lost. They ask you for help with them and a rival biker gang. They say they've
yeah,
taken something, they've kidnapped a member, stuff like that. Go help them out.
yeah, yeah. Because in the original San Andreas, where we get like the Vagos, the Ballas, and the families, like they took some street movie things. Like again, I know this comes back to Cars again, but there was a car movie because in real life, Cars were really a unifying like peace treaty type thing. Like everyone liked Cars enough that
Yeah.
they put their gang stuff aside in real life. That peace was made because everyone liked horsepower. And in game, that was kind of reflected by a movie, a movie that portrayed a black gang making peace with a Latino gang over cars. Now, it wasn't about cars in San Andreas, but they did follow that kind of pattern in a more Romeo and Juliet kind of storyline where the Vagos and the families became allies. And I'm kind of hoping that we can maybe do that over the course of the story because the Vagos just stayed enemies in GTA Online.
Yeah,
And
pretty
like there's no
much.
development or there's no characters there. And same thing with the Lost. Like that really feels really hollow that a lot of your enemies are just your enemies. You just, Trevor sort of just kills them a lot to make them your enemies, or they're just your enemies default. It's a shame because the world is deep. Franklin and Michael have a chance to make to rescue a lost member. Trevor can't, obviously, but there's a lost member who's being chased in by the police in like one of those strangers and freaks random encounters, and he'll talk about how
Oh, I
there's
miss
this
those.
crazy meth head and out in Sandy Shores just making life hell for us. It's like, yeah, you gotta watch out for those types. Is like what Michael and Franklin say. So I don't know. I want to lean into that. I want like characters to be able to make peace with some of the gangs, or at the cost of making enemies with another gang, of course. But they did that. They did that in Vice City. They've been doing that in Vice City and San Andreas. Why did it get dropped along the way to like I mean GTA 4 has an excuse. They were changing console generations, so there was a lot of ambition there that was never realized. But
Yeah.
5, like again, the cut content there can fill an entire game. I just want to see that kind of return in Vice City. I want to make
Yeah.
peace with some gang. Maybe like even get special heists for being a member of the gang. to go with your whole like unique campaign thing. Like,
Oh no, yeah,
maybe,
that's a smart idea.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
maybe
like
like
you can't
we
do
weaken another enemy
you
with a
can't do a
heist or
heist
something.
on this certain place because you're not a part of this affiliation. You can't do that because
Yeah,
you're not a part of them. You chose
yeah,
freely,
like
so
the
only a
FIB
certain
raid.
amount of things are limited. Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking like the FIB raid, sort of against the IAA would be a thing, except that would make the IAA like a little less relevant to as an enemy faction. Or if you chose the IAA, the FIB would be a little less of a relevant faction, sort of thing. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember too many of the gangs in Vice City because that was based in the '80s as well. So who knows how many of them are still relevant? But I remember it was like a Haitian and Cuban gang, and after you received a certain phone call, the Haitian gang would just be your enemies because they were like mind controlling Tommy Vercetti
Yeah,
for like a lot of that, and then the Cubans would be permanently your allies. I kind of want that, but like with a mission to do it. Like, and with Heist, they have that opportunity. So if we ally with the gang, maybe the Lost against the AOD or whatever biker gang, or you could ally with biker gang X against the Lost as well. You could do the heist and render that gang irrelevant for the rest of the story, type thing, or not irrelevant, but like near irrelevant, and you'd have allies as well.
exactly. That's alrighty. Um, Sad. We've been talking about this for over an hour and a half now. Nice.
Well, that's podcast length content. Isn't
Exactly.
that right?
Wonderful. On one topic, we tend to stick to the topic. We talked about a few other games in the background that compare to different
Yeah, as
aspects
case
towards
studies.
a certain game. Yeah, we've pretty much
Yeah, good examples.
we've covered pretty much everything we currently can for GTA 6 at the moment that we can, unless we get more information. Therefore,
Yeah,
would be in
hopes
the
and dreams.
future for another
Hopes,
podcast.
dreams, and worries.
We've still got about a year before the game comes out, so
So 2 more
hopefully,
trailers in about like
yeah,
4 or 6 months.
exactly.
Hmm.
Well, this is the end of it. We're finished for today's
Yeah.
episode. All right. Thank you all for listening to us
Thanks for
rant.
listening.
Mostly to Silver. He
Yeah.
talked most about it.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's why
We
you're my co-star for the podcast. You're more of the in-depth speaker, I guess we could say.
Oh well, thank you.
Of course, no
It's a
problem.
pleasure to be here.
All right, and yeah, I'll. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
edit videos as much
Yeah.
as I can start
We
them,
will,
but I guess I
hopefully
should.
by the next one we'll have a proper exit
Exactly, we'll
and
work on
entrance.
that. Yeah. Thank you to everyone for listening to us rant and talk about GTA 6 and pretty much a couple other GTA games. But overall, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.